There you go.
Welcome to this week's edition of the mma-analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fishel. We have a recap of a not so great pay-per-view, but a couple good moments, and the main event was better than I think most thought would be. And then actually a couple good fights this weekend. I would say the card's pretty bad, but there's some good spots this weekend versus last weekend. I found it to be a bit more difficult. But Nushan, how are you doing?
Very good. We're figuring out consensus in Munich, and we actually have options this week. Usually it's a fucking battle, but we seem to like a lot of the same things, which is kind of lame because then there won't be disagreement. But I'm sure we'll figure something to disagree on this card.
Yeah, last week it took me and Brad like 20 minutes of arguing, and we picked Munich, and it was both of ours, one of our smallest plays on the card because neither of us, like, I was going to throw like just a prop sub bet on Simone by sub, and Brad was going to throw some random small prop bet on Boom by sub. So we were like, I guess that's our only agreement. So let's take doesn't go.
And then I bet it to go to
neither of us like it.
Simon win by decision, and of course
that's absolutely what was going to happen all along.
Yeah. So what can you do? I did save myself a little bit on that card with that Marquez last second sub, so that was nice. Yep. Brad, how you doing?
Yeah. I was sad. I was sad about the bad Munich last week, but then I came upstairs to record, and you see that trophy up there? That's from when I beat Fat Marley in the pick contest for Oddsbreaker. So that always cheers me up because he tries to do this as a living. So
that life's tough, man. It's real tough. There was some guy today.
He's counting like one bet a card, and sometimes he doesn't even have a bet.
He's basically quit, but hasn't told anybody.
He's quit. He's just trying to not bleed his fucking inflated record. That's all he's trying to do.
You got to go through current customers, so he's got to like accidentally win an event or two, so people's contracts will expire or whatever. Yeah. They won't keep it a free bet.
Yep.
Good call.
And then there was a couple funny MMA tout gambling moments this week. There was one today. I don't know this guy. Someone retweeted a lucrative MMA. I don't know, like very typical name.
That sounds lucrative.
I think that's it. And he tweeted this morning, like early, and someone retweeted it, like getting ready to lock down for 9 hours of tape study, which I then retweeted. Is this the best tweet of all time?
No way somebody actually tweeted that.
Oh yeah. And then he had like
he's a professional sports gambler.
He had like a handful of likes and people were tweeting him. I had more likes on my is this the best tweet ever? He completely doesn't understand. Also liked the tweet, me making fun of him. So that's just moments in MMA Twitter. And I'd say my other favorite one is our good buddy James Lynch, one of only a few MMA media members between him and Aaron that I'd say we actually like. He tweeted, any fighters or managers out there have any ideas for some good sponsors that would be good for me to reach out to? And then our boy, I think it was Rockstar, our boy Z, the Nazi feller. He said, I think a lot of people would answer best fight picks. So Jesus when I'm looking for something, I'm looking for a Snickers bar for my work. So
I will give you $25. You let me put my logo on your shit,
dude. Like just the Twitter moment.
You think he made that logo himself in Photoshop?
Yes.
I don't know. He's got talent.
That's what I'm saying. The ticket,
he's pretty good.
He's got a long-standing history of that Photoshop.
The public circle jerk that these guys do on like a weekly basis, like there is literally nothing worse than it. Like an hour after fights, if these dudes win a little money, they're all just spitting on their hands, jerking each other off. It's unfucking believable, man. Like get a life. Like seriously.
The self-awareness is negative in the MMA Twitter touts.
I mean, it's like, you got a guy who actually does this professionally in James Lynch reaching out to talk to sponsors, and someone mentions a guy who lives in his parents' basement with dirty bags of water as someone who literally is so poor that they need to Photoshop fake UFC tickets to try to sneak into the section of people that actually have jobs that
have money that pay for their tickets. We always go back to the bag water. I don't even think that was the worst part of that shit. This man
The
had
saran
loose.
wrap.
No, he had
Oh.
loose soil on his bathroom sink. Loose dirt. Where the fuck does that even come from?
He gets home from his work at Buffalo Wild Wings and stomps his feet on the sink.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Worst part is there were two things other than the bag water that we could have gone to as a worse thing.
yeah. I mean,
saran wrap on the
wine
bottle.
But well, I don't like we talk about it a lot, but the thing that always makes me laugh the most, and it'll never stop laughing, is the tape study part. Not only that they do it, like if they want to do it, I understand if you want to watch some old fights of a guy you've never heard of or never seen, like fine, whatever. Watching guys you fought 15 times and watching their old fights that you just watched is hilarious. But the best part about it is the fact that they call it tape study. That has to be the only people that I can ever think of that would ever say that are like offensive coordinators, some kind of coaching staff. Imagine like let's take football, right? Let's take a professional football gambler. Imagine if a football gambler tweeted, doing tape study, watching the Browns Week 4 game.
Like, look, the only people that should truly be doing like in-depth fight tape study. Coaches
directly getting paid.
Coaches are commentators. That's it.
Yeah, like analytic guys that literally make a living breaking down the technical aspects of fights just on technique basis. Because sometimes that shit has sometimes no bearing on a fight, man. It's all matchups and shit. Like Lance said, if you've watched a guy 6 times over the past 2 years, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck do you need to go look at? You know who he is. You know what he does. Who's he fighting? What's that guy do? What does he do well? I think that's not going to work against this dude. Wiki capped. Bam. Make money.
Yeah, it's like, I'm thinking of betting Brian Kelleher. I'm going to watch his last 10 fights, and he likes to die for guillotines.
Yeah, you're going to watch Brian Kelleher get his shit pushed in until he catches the guy's neck. Oh, shit. I wonder what he's going to do this fight.
Yeah, I better watch these GSP fights. I think he might go for a takedown and double leg. He likes the double leg. I just watched some tape. I saw he likes the double leg, and he's got a good jab.
How many hours you got to put in on fucking on Black Beast to understand what the fuck this guy's gonna do in a fight?
Imagine what a waste of time tape study is on a guy like that.
Well, it's on 90. The only time I ever understood watching any type of fights is if a guy you've literally never seen before, maybe making his debut or something like that. But do we have to call it tape study? Can't we say, I'm watching some old fights, I haven't seen this guy fight? No. Tape study, 9 fucking hours. You know what that tells me? If a guy is spending 9 hours doing tape study on a Wednesday, he doesn't have a job.
No, he ain't got a job.
He was a professional sports gambler.
He doesn't have a girlfriend.
Like 112 followers. I'm sure he's fucking printing money.
I mean, I go back to guys that I haven't seen or maybe haven't fought in a couple years. I watch highlights now. You literally don't even have to go watch 20 minutes of a dude's fight. You can go to dude's Twitter's account and fucking see the good parts of their fight, either a finish or them getting finished. That's all you fucking need to know. Is this guy good or does he absolutely fucking suck? He getting choked out by some random Russian number 17. He fucking sucks,
Well, I think for you guys, like for you, if you want to go, like let's say you haven't seen a guy.
There you go. That's absolutely right.
I would say if you haven't seen a guy fight in a couple years and you watch a fight, you're not doing it to find an edge. You're like, I like this guy. I haven't seen him fight in a few years.
Yeah, you're more doing that. If I'm doing that, I'm usually doing it to talk myself off of something. Like, I think I'm going to bet this guy. How shitty is he? I go and see, oh man, he's getting taken out by fucking, random Russian number 72. Nope, not betting on that guy.
I'm gonna start tweeting during for basketball season. Like, just spent 14 hours watching Indiana Pacers games, ready to place a wager. 20 Kelton units. 20 Kelton units.
Oh man, I just pulled up some high school tape of fucking Giannis. I think I got an edge on the game tonight.
Tall. He's got big, he's lank, he's got reach. But man, these guys entertain me though. I think that's my favorite part. Like, it's cringeworthy when someone says I'm watching 12. I'm locked in. It's time for work, baby. Like, I'm in the office. My mom.
The thing everyone has to understand is we enjoy the hell out of this.
Oh,
this is entertainment.
Oh, keep doing it,
free.
please.
It's free, man.
Keep doing it. Keep posting about it. because I enjoy it.
And you don't even have to follow any of these guys because you only have to follow like a couple of them or some random people that maybe you like, and they're gonna retweet all the videos all over the place. Yeah.
Can you get two at the same time?
Like what a hit!
Bo's gonna have a fucking field day on that, Wes.
Oh God, you got to cut that out. You got to cut that
live,
out,
baby.
I'm gonna have two in my hand hanging by the time.
You're gonna have Bro Hug's face all over the place.
It's gonna be two fleshlights. One would. Oh my God,
it's too good. And we've met some of these guys. I think that's the best part. Like with Marley, right? Like we've met him. And I actually used to really like him before he did the tout thing. Like we hung out a few times. We got some beers, went to a fight, and then it's like something about that tout life. Like it really just turns people because you can't just be a good gambler and be a good tout. It's the selling and the lying and like when we lose, we laugh. It's funny, right? When we make a really bad bet, when we bet fucking Ricky Simone to get a finish, it's laugh-worthy. That's how it should be. And Bro Hugs.
Do we got Val watching this? It's got to be a burner account.
That's been lurking.
That can't be Val.
I bet he's been lurking.
He knows better than to do that.
That's awesome. All right, let's we'll go ahead and get into to last week's card. So we can start at the top and then go back down like we do. But we had the welterweight division, Kamaru Usman defending his belt versus Gilbert Burns, and man, I think you could definitely pucker up a little bit if you had some Usman money in that first round. And like he was hurt. Burns came out I think exactly how he should have. I think Burns' shot in that fight was bite down, throw as many bombs as you can, and hope one lands because Usman's at that level where you got to almost, I don't want to say get lucky, but you got to land a lucky shot perfectly to beat that guy. And I actually, people were dogging him and stuff that he gassed or all that stuff, but I thought Burns had the absolute perfect game plan. Yeah. And, Usman made him look like a punching bag when Burns was a little bit tired, but Usman's good. There's nothing really else to say about him.
I would almost say like he had like maybe a 95% perfect plan. Because I think he did go a little too hard at certain spots to where he could have eaten up a little bit and saved just a couple shots. I mean, props to the dude, though, man. Like, that was the guy that I was thinking had a chance against Usman just because his striking and power had gotten so good. But, I mean, Usman was hurt, but he wasn't hurt to the point that I was like, oh, my God, like just –
he wasn't dead.
Yeah, just –
he was hurt.
Yeah,
and that was the point where Burns went overboard.
Yeah.
If Burns would have slowed down there, he might have
taken apart a little bit. Yeah,
he might have got him. He might have eventually got him out because I think he had him. I don't think he had him as hurt as bad as he thought he did, and he went in for the kill. But yeah, man, it was tough to see though the end, man. Like I like Burns, dude, and man, Usman fucked him up, dude. Like that's one of. I know Usman fucked up Kobe, but that took like fucking 20 minutes. Like Usman fucked up Burns bad in like 5 minutes. Like that was a beat down. And I don't know. I talked about a little on Twitter that night about I'm gonna tee this up for Brad. I'm gonna pitch him a softball right down the middle.
Shit, here we go.
I do think Usman's striking is definitely better, and it's getting better, but there was some people that were literally like, this guy's like, put him against Wonder Boy in a kickboxing match this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's gonna stand and trade with Masvidal.
Yeah, I mean, it's
people
not
are saying that.
It's not it, and it doesn't have to be to that level. Usman's striking will never have to be at that level to be the best welterweight possibly ever. It's never gonna have to be at that level. But like, what are you gonna do with this guy? What 170 is gonna like is you're going to need Wonder Boy to like catch him with something. Like that's Wonder Boy's probably only chance to catch him with something kind of early. I mean that dude's his wrestling, his clinch up against the cage, and the improved striking. Like I'll let Brad go off on some of these nerds that was calling him, the second coming of just Ernesto Hoost or some shit like that. But it is better. Like it's. What's crazy is watching Burns in that fight is Burns' striking is levels above Usman's at this point. And that's kind of crazy to say, but it's good enough. And I do believe that Usman's going to go down as the best 170 ever, just because he's going to break all of GSP's records. Do I think he's the best?
He's kind of old though.
Yeah, he's already old.
Just because
he won't defend as many as GSP.
But there's nobody there. Like, he's going to smash.
Right now, there will be somebody. There's always somebody.
It's gonna take a while.
Mad Google Roofu, the guy was dying from COVID.
I think it takes a little bit to get somebody to that level to give him a fight. Now, do I think that Usman is, a better fighter than GSP? I mean, not necessarily, not technically and skill wise, but man, you match those guys up in GSP's prime. Usman is a fucking tank, bro. Like, I mean, that dude's an absolute tank. I even talked about it that night. He might be at 185 chasing a belt someday. He's that fucking huge. That dude could be up at 185, but great performance. And it's just questionable. Like, what do you do now? I guess Wonder Boy's like a fresh fight.
Fighting Masvidal. They're
fighting Masvidal. They're going to be tough coaches.
If they actually do that.
It's the biggest payday and the easiest fight.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
For him, it makes sense. It's just
for him, it makes complete sense.
Not for us, like everything else in the UFC. Not for us.
If I'm
especially
Usman,
when there's
I'm begging.
There's no clear fucking number one contender after Burns, so might as well go make money because he's not gonna have any opportunities other than fucking his fight with Masvidal after that.
Let's not act like Masvidal is a big draw, though. Let's not act like he's gonna make. He's gonna make big money.
Better than random welterweight number 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he's
Masvidal might do much more than Colby rematch.
Yes, I think Masvidal.
I think a little bit more. I mean, he just fought Burns. Like, Burns isn't no fucking draw.
Yeah,
nobody knows who Gilbert Burns is. Like,
no.
And I think it is like Kobe Masvidal or Masvidal Kobe draw, but it's close. Like, it's really close. Either one of those guys. Usman should be begging for the Masvidal fight. Begging, give me that fight.
He did.
He did. But I think the thing that sucks is, like, would Kobe beat Usman? Probably not. But I'll say this: Colby Usman 2 would be fun. It would be closer. Yeah. It would be fun. Usman versus Masvidal. I literally have. I'll probably fall asleep during it.
We know how it's gonna go. Like, I think we could have Usman Kobe again, and it's a very interesting fight. Even though I think Usman wins that fight again, we know what Kobe's going to do, and it's going to give him like a chance to put some pressure on Usman, and then who knows? Sometimes
and Colby could do something different in that fight. He could go for takedowns. He could switch it up. We know what's going to happen in that Masvidal fight.
Colby's an idiot outside the cage. Colby's also a very smart fighter who probably would come up with some kind of different game plan or something. Like, that fight
even if Colby doesn't, the whole thing that made this performance apparently so great to people is that Gilbert was gone after the first 3 minutes.
Colby's never going away.
Exactly. Colby is going to be there. He's going to throw shit at you for 25 minutes or until you break his face. So credit for him to that. But that's like, I don't think Usman's striking has gotten any better than his last 2 fights.
Little bit.
Maybe a little bit, but it's more.
That jab is fucking
not defensively. Definitely not defensively.
Not defensively at all.
What did
super long reach, and he was fighting a punching bag.
I think Brad
still look good.
I think Brad said it in our chat though, like about the jab and shit. But it is true. How many MMA fighters literally have a jab that good?
Difference.
That punch right there could win you so many fights, if not win them, put you in position to win so many fights in MMA, because 1, motherfuckers don't throw it, and 2, most of them don't even know how to deal with it once they catch a cut. That punch was legit, and just that right there is a slightly improvement.
With his style, that's all Usman needs, though. He's not going to be a striker.
All he needs.
This fight was different. Burns is probably the only guy in the weight class that Usman wouldn't use a grappling heavy exchange, where even when he's not getting takedowns, he's against the cage, but he's working for takedowns. He wanted no interest in Burns in the ground. That's the only way he loses. So that's why we saw this stand up. And I think that was, he's a smart fighter, and he knew, I need to outstrike this guy. So he probably worked on his striking and his jab and all that stuff.
He didn't outstrike him though. Like, he got smoked while Gilbert was in that fight. And I think that was a sign of, like, they've sparred a shitload of times together. And that looked like Gilbert in all of those sparring sessions
beat his ass.
Him up, and he finally got he finally got the chance to go after it for real. And I think he overdid it.
Yeah. Well, defensively, Usman's not strong. But with his grappling and everything else he does, a jab's fine. That's really all he needs. Get a jab, out cardio people, be stronger than people. When you need to, you got the takedown. You can clinch against the fence. He's not the most exciting
Sounds
style,
like a Caucasian guy that we know of. Good jab, got a great double leg, can just out fucking last you. Sounds like maybe the greatest welterweight of all time.
He is really the evolution of GSP. He's the modern version of what GSP would be.
GSP's wrestling and explosiveness versus Usman is like this. It's not even in the same ball. Usman is comfortable stalling against the cage for 25 minutes.
Well, Usman makes up for GSP wasn't a huge welterweight, especially by today's standards.
The guys GSP was double legging is completely different than the skill level of guys when it comes to wrestling in today's MMA. Like GSP was double legging fucking bums that when it comes to wrestling. Like a lot of those guys,
Sean Shirk and Frank Trigg.
Well, no,
Hughes,
he had
John Fitch and Alves.
Guys are just bigger and stronger.
That's why he's still the greatest welterweight of all time. Like
All right, we talked about this way too long.
Yeah, enough of this.
Now we can skip through the rest of these shitty fights.
We get a horrible rematch now that absolutely nobody won. So it's very on brand for the UFC. But we'll go down real quick. Starting welterweight division, Gabe Green defeated Phil Rowe. Yeah, this fight happened. I got nothing.
Nope.
Adam.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Then we had a catchweight for this fight. Gutierrez beating Andre Ewell. I was on Gutierrez here. I feel like I was in the minority. I think some people like Andre Ewell here, but I think what I said last week is he's really good at nothing. He's good at no aspects of MMA. He's average and he likes to move forward. That's about it. So yeah, Gutierrez, I think he's a guy that can beat a lot of guys. I don't think he's top tier. I don't think he's a top 10 fighter, but he's a guy that's going to beat guys he's supposed to.
I mean, in today's calf kicking MMA, the guy could be a top 10 fighter. Hey, seriously though, him at like minus 110 or something to you, I didn't understand that. Like Lance is completely right. What is?
I got it at minus 150, so I did horrible.
No, I played it like fight the day before the fight or fight day, and it was like minus 110 or something like that. Wow. You'll like Lance is completely right. What does that guy do good? Like he's literally average at everything. He like has this movement and shit. Arms. Yeah, he does some of that like I call it just the total wasted movement that some guys do in MMA that just tire themselves out. That's Andre Ewell.
Yeah, he's definitely not good.
Gutierrez's best thing is still his calf kicks, so he sucks.
He's not a fan. All right, strawweight Pauliana Viana defeated Mallory Martin. I did not. I didn't catch this one.
I lost
we were due for one of
on this stupid fucking fight. Oh man, this is probably the worst bet I've made in years.
Who'd you
At
bet?
least it was over.
You just bet Martin straight?
Yeah, it got down to like minus 105, and I was
This was the Shockwave fight. This was the girl who.
Yeah, exactly. But the other chick couldn't finish Shockwave, and she finished this Martin chick.
Shockwave's tough, man.
She pulled out the finisher, the armbar from
guard.
Women's
and
MMA.
we've got another co-main event this week. Wow.
This week is shocking. There's so little reason to have this as the co-main event this week.
Right?
It's two random chicks that's no one ever heard of who aren't good. A co-main event on a card that has, definitely
a bunch of good fights
that could be in there. So yeah, that's welterweight division. Bilal Muhammad defeated Diego Lima, just a giant punching bag. My takeaway from this fight is we all know how bad DC is and how bad Rogan is, but their commentary to me at this point, when I have the sound on, is almost ruining fights for me at this point. Where
shit,
if you would have just closed your eyes and listened to that fight and then read the scorecards, like, well, that's a robbery. Those kicks were landing. Like, you would have thought that Bilal Muhammad, after the fight, had both of his legs amputated.
They wheeled him out on a stretcher, man.
And you know what? The thing with Bilal Muhammad here is there's a lot of guys who don't get finishes. When you can't get finishes against the bottom of the barrel guys, you got problems. You really do. Like, he's ranked. He's fighting unranked guys every fight, and he's not putting him out there. And he got a little bit closer on this fight versus literally a punching bag. I mean, Diego just backed against the fence and then, kicked him with his baseball bat with barbed wire on it to, amputate his leg. But Bilal's he's got to figure something out. You are never going to make it and get up to top 10 and get these big fights if you can't finish Diego Lima and you can't finish all these guys he can't finish. Like, there's something to finishing a fight outside of the entertainment value. You need to dominate and put away guys you're supposed to.
And he said
I quite enjoy it. You keep giving me Bilal against fucking Scabs at minus 400, but minus 120 fucking
Decision.
minus 130
Yeah.
decision all day.
And he said that he specifically was going out for finishing this fight, and it's the shitty Lima. I don't think you're finishing. You ain't finishing a sandwich, bro. But Bilal is fucking tough though, man.
He's really good.
Yeah,
good.
Yep. He's a tough fucking out for like anybody, but Lance is right. You got to finish fights if you want big showcases. You just got to.
Like Derek Lewis, man. He just swangs and he bangs and he gets main events. That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's heavyweights though.
He's also 100 pounds heavier.
You got to finish the shitty Lima when you put it on him like that. That dude
he's
sucks.
growing a chin. He's pulling the Arlovski. He somehow is not getting finished anymore.
Yeah, it is kind of wild, ain't it?
As they like to smell blood in the water, they go after it. Bilal sees a guy hurt and he's like, "Oh, back up, jab, shoot."
Yeah, or shoot him up against the cage like an idiot. Like
when he heard him, he was
Bilal
like,
was Gilbert Burns, he would have hurt Usman and then done nothing and just waited for Usman to get back in the fight.
He won a decision.
Yeah, that's what would have happened.
Oh God! All right, so the crazy fight of the night, which sadly I was on, I had Vieira in a parlay, but Fluffy Hernandez chokes out Vieira in one of the worst shows of cardio. People keep saying he has one round. He had about a minute. Like, this dude is supposed to be this crazy jiu-jitsu guy. He's in full mount a minute into the fight when they're completely dry and fresh. Fluffy gets out of that. It was over at that point. He was gassed after 1 minute of fighting.
Man, Boots puts his cardio to shame. Like, holy fuck, man.
There's very few fighters that I've ever. Tank Abbott has better cardio than this fucking guy. Like, seriously, there's few fighters I've ever seen.
Butterbean.
Not Butter.
Oh, fucking
Butterbean can go some rounds.
This dude gassed so hard, man. And what's wild? Like, I know it's MMA, and the dude gassed out. Still, subbing this guy was something, man. Because this dude is legitimately one of the greatest BJJ.
At that point, it's just a quit job.
Yeah, it is.
Like, the biggest.
It was the one time I actually agreed with DC on that. It's like, I'm sorry, dude. I know, like, it sucks and you're getting choked, but you got to go out.
You got to go out, man.
If you were in you got to make that guy put you to sleep because
you got all these credentials. You can't go home, man. You got to go out.
And at that point, that's his chance to actually win the fight. Because he's probably still good enough at jiu-jitsu, even that tired, that he could lay on top of him.
Yeah.
Like
nothing. Well, in the second, he's dead in the first round, right?
Oh, he couldn't even lift his arms up in the first round.
Yeah. He somehow gets the takedown. He gets on top, and I've never seen a guy at that level so easily. I
don't know if I've seen a guy gas that hard. Like, it's got to be very few.
That was signs of like Kimbo versus Dada.
It was so sudden.
Had a heart attack.
It was so sudden, but so clear that the books had that line just hanging there. I think at one point it was plus 1,500. I got it at plus 1,200, and I was just like, "Oh man, this is the greatest bet I've ever cashed!" Like 6 minutes before the finish.
But I don't care how muscle bound and shit are. That's an athlete. Like, there is no reason on this earth a man in that shape that competes in a sport like that should gas like that. None whatsoever. I don't know if it's an adrenaline dump he had, but he's been in fights.
Weird.
Yeah, he's been in fights before.
Fourth UFC fight against Fluffy. Like, the weird thing is, like, I don't work out, I don't train, I don't run. I feel like my cardio would be about the same as that. of what he did. Like, I feel like I could go longer. I could go 5 hard minutes.
I mean, I've gotten into some scraps in my mid-30s, like legitimate scraps, and I had a good minute and a half, couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? Before you're sucking wind and like, fuck, dude, let's over. Like that dude's. I don't look like that dude. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
and the funny thing is, it's like some guys, like you get a striker, right? And he's grappling for 2.5 minutes. He's not used to that in that level of competition. He gasses out. We're talking about a grappler grappling.
yeah,
with ease, doing whatever he wanted.
not getting punched either. He didn't take a punch or anything. Like he literally controlled this guy how he wanted to and was dead.
Good finish and fucking quit.
I will say this though. That man's got a chin.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I think in that the first round and second round, he took 14 fight-ending shots.
Didn't even like flinch. Like he would get hit, his hands were down,
He couldn't.
and he wouldn't even flinch. He
Yeah.
was just like, oh,
Put
I'm
his
fucking
hands
tired.
He was probably hoping, like he's never been hit that hard that many times in the gym. He was probably hoping he would go out, and he wasn't. He's like, oh shit, man, I've got a great chin, and this sucks. I am tapping as soon as I get a chance.
This guy's gonna choke me. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Can I just go to sleep? Like, knock me out, kid. Fuck.
There was one part, he has his hands down. He gets hit with this huge right hand, and he goes to like pick his hands up, and then like 1 second later, he drops it again and eats the biggest elbow I've ever seen in my life. He literally picked him up, was like, "Oh no!" Heavy.
So
Like
heavy.
you've seen guys that gas like it. They can't throw punches anymore, but they still like put their arms up to block punches. He couldn't even do that, bro.
He literally couldn't lift his hands above his chest. He was
That was
literally
wild.
holding his hands like this in front of him, like in front of his chest, because he couldn't get him up this high. He was just eating punches left and right.
Oh man.
And
that
the only reason they would only go down that far is because they couldn't get past his massive lats.
Yeah. His lats literally prop his fucking arms up.
go higher or lower.
Oh shit.
That
That was excellent. That was tremendous.
That was a fun fight, despite losing, buddy. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Speaking of fun fights, easily the funnest fight, I would say. Well, outside of that last one, but the funny finish. Julian Marquez defeated Maki Pitolo.
That was
Anaconda
awesome.
choke with a little bit of time left. And I know I had inside the distance. I know Brad, you had a sub prop. Sean, I think you got on that too. I don't know what list you were on Marquez, but
I had money line, yeah, just
that was-
money line.
that was wild. And I think my favorite part of this fight is in the pre-fight build-up in the interviews, Pitolo kept saying, I'm going to drag this guy into deep waters. He has 1 round of cardio. I'm going to tire him out. I'm going to beat him up. Like, he's not getting that early finish. I'm taking him out. Dude gets sub with under a minute left. How great is that? Like, man. And Marquez just kept going for that sub. And when he first got it, I was like, shit. And Pitolo was so tired, he didn't have time to readjust to defend the Anaconda. And it just flew right in there. And I got to give it to Marquez, man. And, like, he's not the smoothest. I would say he's kind of a rough with the mic. But he people
tries.
talking about him. He got national attention for that interview.
And then he ruined it. Then he like completely fucking ruined it.
They're doing something with Barstool Fund or something like that.
Oh,
I don't know. But regardless, right? This guy got a big win after a huge layoff when everyone forgot about him. And his name got out there nationally.
Yep.
His next fight will be on a main card, and people are going to be talking about him. So good on him, man.
Yeah,
No,
they're-
better than saying
fighter.
I'll fight whoever the UFC wants to put me in.
or
Yeah.
telling them that don't interview me or ask me any questions anymore because you don't like. At least he didn't do that shit, right? But
Idiot.
yeah, that fight was wild, man. And the whole fight, I'm just tweeting out like, I can never get a fucking Coconut Bombs fight right. I can never get one of his fights right. And
Boom got it right.
Marquez pulled up, man. And I'll give it to him, man. That took some toughness, dude, to stay in that fight. Like he took some shit in that fight.
He got some ground and pound. He got some heavy ground and pound. The under the arm shots and like
Yeah.
ground and pound.
Yeah, a lot of guys could have went out there, and I mean, even you also got I think almost a 3-year layoff and shit to be in a fight like that. Like yeah, I'm going forward. Like that's gonna help him a lot, and I think you're right. I don't think he's the smoothest guy and stuff like that, but he seems like he's got some decent sub skills to pull off what he pulled off. And yeah, you're absolutely right, man. He there's few after a fight here in recent years that have got on the mic and made as much of it as that guy actually did. He literally had one of the biggest pop stars in the world fucking tweeting him back and shit and retweeting his shit.
Talking about it. People that weren't MMA fans, it was on Twitter, it went trending. Like,
I have nothing against him doing that and trying and getting the attention. The thing that I was shocked about is we're doing a podcast right now, and we are not a top of the barrel podcast.
We don't have 900 watching on Periscope right now.
Here.
You know.
Exactly. But I cannot believe that man is on a podcast. Like,
he's talked.
He talks presumably every day, but specifically during a period of time every week. And that's what he comes up with when he's got a chance on pay-per-view.
Doesn't he? Is he the one with the
brain
podcast
cells in that fight?
He's the one with the podcast with the ex porn star though, right? Like
Kendra Lust Cardio. I told you guys. I spelled it out. You just gotta follow the signs, people.
Come on, figure it out,
dude. How much podcast study did you have to do?
A lot of podcast study. A lot of
to get the Kendra Lust Cardio. Like,
this is going to be our second James Lynch shout out of the show, but I've seen him like retweet their show, so that's why I knew it existed.
Yeah, I have to.
Never listened to it. Sorry.
Yo. All right, so
you've done a lot of tape study on Kendra Lust. Shut the fuck up.
That's why I know about the cardio.
Back in the day. All right, we'll go through these next few pretty quick and get over to this week's card. Ricky Simone defeated Boom Boom rather easily. Wrestled him. Didn't even think about a finish. Not even. I was hoping that cut in the first round. I was like, oh, here we go, baby, Munich cut. But no.
Okay, one thing I gotta say about this fight. Anik was like, oh, man, he squeezed him so hard that he busted him. This was one of Anik's worst nights ever.
And I love Anik.
Yeah, Anik is
what happens when you're with DC
and Rogan.
They dumb you down.
I've interacted with the guy, like done stuff, and he's good. He is a great commentator, but this and the custody stuff earlier in the night.
Oh yeah, that
you can thank him for it though.
I saw that.
I get it.
He must have told him to say something.
Still,
it must have been in like the pre-fight interviews or something like that. Yeah. But that's weird shit to be talking about on a fight, man.
Give this man his kid. I hope he's better at getting his kid back than he's fighting. That was the way to do it.
Look, even if he was cool with it or not,
he's a better lawyer than he is a fighter.
Yeah, that's not something that anybody watching the fights wants to hear about, man.
I enjoyed it.
Sean's right, dude. Like I love Anik. I think Anik is fucking great at what he does, but man, when he gets on with Rogan and DC, they dumb him down so bad that sometimes he's saying shit like, dude just got a cut fucking popped in his head and shit like.
Yeah. He squeezed him so hard it busted his forehead open.
I knew what he was saying though. What he was saying was that he had
coming out of the nose.
Well, he had a recent cut that was still fresh, and the squeeze on him cracked his scar open. I knew what he was saying, but it's how he said it. He just popped a hole in his head. Shit like that.
No. It was like the announcing situation is not great because the UFC loves DC. They're going to keep the Rogan thing's whatever. We have to hear Rogan, 12 times a year, whatever.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The thing is infuriating because we got to hear this guy 2 or 3 times a month. And like, they're never going to do it, but I'd almost rather, let's just make a firm booth. Let's have Michael Bisping, Paul Felder, and John Anik be the booth and just call it a day. Those guys.
I like Bisping now. Like I did,
phenomenal.
I did not like Bisping when he first started. He was more like bullshit talker than he was like. Now he's like his bullshit's actually kind of funny and witty, and he's good at analyzing the fights. So he's gotten way better. He needs to be like their full-time dude.
Well, to me, the problem with a DC and a Cruz who, holy shit, they aren't good at the silence. I think what makes a really good announcer great is to know when to shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Like when you think of like big plays in sports and other events and things like that. Like I watch a lot of wrestling, like a ton of wrestling. And something they do good when we get down to like, the last 20 seconds of a match, it's really close back and forth. The announcers just kind of like take a breather. Like, let's just watch the wrestling, like, let's see what happens. And in a lot of sports, it's that silence that you know when to interject. DC and Cruz don't even let you think about the fight. Just ramble, nonstop bullshit. Like, Bisping does a couple of good things. One, he's funny. He's very funny. I think he's got a little Jew in him. He's very self-loathing. He makes fun of himself a lot. It's incredible.
Probably his wife.
Bisping doesn't seem like he talks up bad fighters as much as the other guys.
Yep.
Like, when Bisping thinks a guy sucks, he either kind of says things like he sucks or doesn't say anything.
Yep. Yeah, I think Felder is the best at letting.
Great.
Well, Felder has to deal with terrible fighters every week on Contender Series.
Yeah, he is absolutely the best at knowing when to let a fight roll. When they're in action and shit is good, he just shuts the fuck up and lets the fight play. Yeah, but man, we're at a point now. Like, Rogan is deceased. That dude's a zombie out there. I don't know. I have no idea. It's Rogan. I get it. I do get it. That guy. He is so
brings
bad.
Nothing to the table.
He is so, and he's even like, DC's bad enough, but DC's already taken up some of Rogan's shit with the, it's over. It's over. Yeah. He's got him. DC does that every time now because of fucking Rogan,
The best part, my favorite part, just to show, like, remember when Brian Stan was new and he'd research and he'd do all that, and Felder, he researches, and Anik probably puts in more work than anyone.
That's a guy that does tape study and should do tape study.
Exactly.
Watch old fights.
It was earlier in the card, and DC mentioned, and Boom Boom was fighting this guy last year, and he did this and this and this, and Anik was like, it was this guy. And DC was like, wow, how'd you remember that? Like, God, you're like a steel trap. It was last year. Like, and it's like about the guy who's fighting right now. You couldn't take the time to even look at who these guys' last 2 fights were. That's how little research you're putting into a national televised program. Like, that was shocking that DC didn't know Boom Boom's opponent 2 times ago. That's crazy.
ESPN literally gives DC a show to where he breaks down fights and shit. Like, it is absolutely atrocious. It is so bad.
I can't even think about watching that. But anyway, we digress. A couple more to break down. Well, one more to break down, really. Kelvin Gastelum beat Ian Heinisch. Gastelum looked good, I guess. I don't know. He didn't look – I thought his striking looked worse than ever. I think
that's because he was grappling so much. I would hope.
Yeah. He didn't look like the old, explosive, fast hands, powerful Gastelum. He looked like a guy who, and maybe for good reason, he just wanted to get in, get a win. He knew he could out wrestle this guy, and then that was it. And I think maybe his hands look bad because of that, but much needed win for Kelvin, who's, I believe, 30, 29 years old?
He's still young.
I think he's 29.
Yeah, very young. This Gastelum looked like a Gastelum that was like, I got to go out here and get a win.
Need a win.
And that's what he did. And he did. Like, I still say, man, if I don't know if we need, like, can say even prime Gastelum, because I'm not sure he's even there yet. He's still so young.
Yeah.
He's
also a weight class away from being prime Gastelum.
That's the sad part, because he actually is. He'll imagine him and Usman. Imagine that dude down at 170 or some shit. But I still think he's got a skill set that we saw it before, if he's right and in shape, even at 185. That gave Izzy some problems. You know what I'm saying? His wrestling is legitimate enough, and his hands were good enough to where he could give a guy like Izzy some problems. I mean, he cracked Izzy. He had Izzy hurt bad in that fight.
Real bad.
And I think this Gastelum in this fight was, like I said, I got to go out and get a win. I got to beat this guy because he's just not on my level. And after
the fight, he said he wanted to be the backup for Whitaker versus Costa. All I can think about, could you imagine him and Costa meeting in the middle of the cage to like touch gloves? He'd be like, "Hey, son."
Man, the line on Gas in this fight, even though he was a 2-1 fave, was dumb. Was so the Usman and him parlay was like it was so square, but it was the easiest fucking parlay you could have made, and I don't know how long.
And
I played Heinisch by decision.
Attaboy, Brad.
Hey, at least he
I get
tried
it.
hard. He tried hard, and
Eh,
going into the fight, we didn't know that Gastelum was going to come in and be
Wrestle.
any sort of.
we
in shape.
knew Heinisch was ready though. We did know that. So
That is very true.
I get why you did take the bet on him. You had some inside information.
Mhm.
Tries hard.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we had
Ben
Macy
Senator's
Barber.
information.
Macy Barber's not great. We lost in this one. At least I did. I think
Yeah, I did
you
too.
guys took it.
I was
Maybe me and
wrong.
Sean. So yeah, Macy Barber sucks. Whatever. Grasso, people were saying, is the best female boxer in history. People were saying that online
Oh my
Yep.
god!
on the old
cool.
the old Twitter.com. But
Because she can
that's all I
land
got for this
on
game.
one of the worst strikers that
Defensive
we've ever
fighters.
seen. Literally, like the double jab to midair.
Oh,
I'm just banging my fucking head, dude. And then
devastating.
she winds up on that spinning fucking kick, and I lost it. I was like, oh my god, is this for real? Is this like a co-main event, bro? What the fuck?
Of a pay-per-view.
Man. She sucks. She sucks. She can
Sucks.
keep. She did another interview talking like, "Oh, this isn't holding me back, and I'm still going to be champion." Like, chick, I get the self belief, but you ain't never going to be champion. It ain't.
Well, I think that's enough of this one. Apparently, we have 15 fights to go through, so we'll try to go through these very.
I told you guys
quickly.
it's going to be a 3-hour show tonight.
Yeah, we're going to speed through a good chunk of these from looking at it. We'll start off with one that shouldn't take more than about 15 seconds. We have in the heavyweight division, Sergey Spivak.
He's back, baby.
Back, baby. Everyone's banging on the door. Fight! I want to fight the end of the apex. Sergey Spivak taking on Jared Vanderaa. Vanderaa. Yeah, new Sean? Anything?
I don't have much. Vanderaa is terrible. The guy he beat on Contender Series was terrible. Spivak is also terrible. So you never know. This is shitty heavyweights, but the pick should be Spivak by finish.
Yeah, I guess. What's the line on this bad boy?
Spivak
is
minus
like
245, which is look. He should win this fight. He shouldn't be minus 245 against a fucking KFC worker. So
so he should be like minus 350 against this guy.
that could be true. The only angle I might say is fight doesn't go here. I don't see this going 15 minutes. Both these dudes suck, but they suck that bad. I think Spivak's going to finish him, but I'm not touching this fight.
Brad?
Vanderaa is one of those guys that I've seen for way too long.
Yep.
Watched
He's
him
been
back
bad
in
that
like,
long too, ain't he? He's been bad forever.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is, his worst loss. His worst loss might not even be to like a 42-year-old Richard Odoms back in the RFA days. It might be worse than that. But I'm trying to figure out, is his best win 40-year-old Ruan Potts or 46-year-old Tony Lopez? Because Tony Lopez is a vet, man.
He's a two-way. He was a two-weight champ. What? He beat a two-weight champ.
Yeah, you know when he did that? 2019. This dude fought Tony Lopez in 2019, and now he's in the UFC.
I thought Tony Lopez got killed in like a robbery or something.
I think it was
I like Spivak here. At least he's got like decent cardio and is durable. He'll win this fight.
Yeah. I got nothing but Spivak. That is a ugly feller. That is one.
One more thing before we move on. I think that Vanderaa needs to change his name to the Bear Tamer because on Contender Series he pounded a hairy cumsucker.
That's pretty good.
All right, let's go on to another fight. Bantamweight division, Zahabi versus Draco Rodriguez. Sean.
Always good to look to fade a Canadian. I couldn't do it here. Draco, I know he looked good on Contender Series, but the guys he's faced is absolutely horrible. Zahabi has faced a lot better guys. Most of them beat him once he stepped up in competition, but Draco just not good enough. I'll pick him to win, but minus 240 or whatever it is a bit high. Or
he came down.
is a bit high.
Wes?
Yeah, 175 still a little too high here. Pretty much agree with what Sean said. Zahabi's fought the better competition, but once he took a slight step up, he's just not that guy. I think Darko probably beats him, but I'm not going to lay that kind of juice to find out. Zahabi's still training at a way better gym with way better guys around him and shit. So you just never know. I'm going to pick Darko, but no bet.
Yeah, don't have much here. I think Zahabi sucks. I think he's pretty bad. But I'm not laying that kind of juice on a guy like Darko who's not exactly proven. So I'm going to pass on this one.
I don't get to talk about this one.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Jeez, Lance.
He's a Canadian.
boring, I
You gotta
forgot
let the
about you.
You gotta let the
Damn
Canadian
it.
talk.
All right.
Yeah.
Same thing what Lance said.
No, more what Wes said. Except if you have to bet this, bet Zahabi by like decision. That seems like the thing.
I apologize, Brad. I got excited.
What's the line on that, Brad? That's gotta be a
Plus
big price.
350, I think, last time I saw it.
Not bad.
All right. Featherweight division, Chaz Skelly, Jamal Emmers. New Sean?
Yeah, I'm surprised this fight is as widely lined as it is. Skelly, I know, hasn't fought in a long time. September 2019, not great. He's a crafty dude, though, and I don't think Emmers has shown enough against who he's fought that he should be, a minus 200, whatever he is, favorite. I think Skelly can get this fight to the ground and might even grab a sub. So I played Skelly just for a unit at plus 200. I just thought this is a bit closer, and Brad clued me into a beautiful prop before we were talking, so I snagged a little bit on sub plus 700.
Wes?
Yeah, this is a tough one for me too, because I do think Emmers is probably better. But I think if this fight gets, just kind of stupid and grimy, that's Skelly's world. And I'm not sure Emmers is can perform in those kind of spots. I know Skelly can. That dude's going to be in this fight. And Sean's right. If this gets to the mat, which it probably will, there's probably going to be some grappling exchanges. Skelly's dangerous, man. That guy can grab some shit on you. So, man, I think Emmers probably edges this, but the line is wide. So I'll probably pick Skelly and Toutmaster for the points, but I haven't been able to talk myself into a bet. That sub at like plus 700. That's probably a good little shout if you want to just have a small little amount on this fight.
Brad?
Yeah, that's really all I've got here. Is if you're playing Skelly, he's gonna jump to his back or like get a knee bar or something fucked up that Chaz Skelly does, because he just loves scrambling and finding limbs and finding necks, and that's what he's always been good at. He's not a good striker. If this stays on the feet for 15 minutes, he's either going to get knocked out, probably not because it's Jamal Emmers, or lose a decision, which is probably what's going to happen. So I've got that Skelly prop. I got plus 640, so apparently I need to go shopping a little bit.
Russia.
Oh, Russia. That doesn't fucking count. Okay, never mind. I'm good. I got plus 640 on that. And yeah, that's Skelly's path.
Yeah, I like Skelly here. I know he's been out for a while. I know he's getting a bit older, but it seems like when he has a wrestling advantage, he can find a way to win. He is crafty on the ground. He is good with scrambles. He does have good chokes. I lean towards that sub prop as well because that's how he wins most of his fights, but I'd probably split it just between Skelly straight and the sub. You never know. Skelly can actually get on top, and he has some decent ground and pound when he gets on top, so he could get a knockout finish, and he could win a decision with wrestling as well. And Emmers is a bigger, stronger type guy. Where I also wouldn't be surprised if this fight just stays in the feet. Him stuffs the takedowns and kind of batters Skelly a little bit. Skelly's striking defense is poor.
That's what worries me. Yep.
Very, very poor.
Yep.
He likes to get hit in the face. He doesn't react well to shots. Which is usually not a good combination of bad striking defense and bad chin, no reaction to shots. So I'll probably have a small play on this and maybe split it between the sub and straight. But don't love this one, but I think at plus 185, I think it's worth a stab, and also the plus 650 that Brad mentioned as well for sub. All right, chick fight, flyweight, Shayna Dobson, Casey O'Neill. I've literally never heard of this person. You, Sean?
Yeah, I don't care. The one thing I'll say is how insane the state of women's MMA. Dobson had the biggest. She cashed as the biggest underdog, I think, of the year in 2020, and nobody gives a fuck in her next fight. That's the state of MMA.
Well,
WMMA.
I think to even make it better, when she won that fight, she was 3-4.
Mhm.
That doesn't show you the state of women's MMA. She was 3-4 in the UFC and got a win versus prospect.
And how she
4-4.
won that fight had nothing to do with her. Her opponent gassed out, beating the shit out of her.
Yep.
And then just died.
Yeah.
It was like Vieira.
She pulled up Rodolfo. Yeah.
I mean, she was 3-4 on a 3-fight losing streak and got another fight. If that doesn't I mean, people I know. There's a line out the door. People are on Fight Island swimming to the octagon just to get in the cage.
I think
she must be ranked, right?
They owe her some fights probably because she was on that
so she
female
got like a
tough
6 fight.
yeah, for like whatever $100,000 or whatever they pay them, spread it out. Nah.
Oh.
But most of them get like they get a contract off of that show, so they probably owe her a couple fights they got to give her.
They can cut you whenever they
Yeah,
want.
of course, but people are out the door trying to fight at the Apex, bro. Like, come on.
They don't need fighters. They don't need them. They're good.
Look, like Sean's right though. How we get this kind of stuff, I don't want to go back to last week, but that's a co-main event that they're giving you, man. Like,
wait till this week. It's even worse.
Yep.
Do you guys have anything to add on this fight? Anyone betting this?
No, I got nothing.
The Scottish chick is any good at all, and I don't know that she is. I've never seen her. Minus 150 or whatever it is right now is an absolute steal
against a Dobson. It's crazy. It makes you want to play it automatically, don't it?
It does.
Has this girl fought in the UFC before?
No,
but she is like 23 from Tiger Muay Thai, which is a gym full of killers overall, hyped up on fucking PED. So minus 150 to a Dobson, it's almost like fuck. Gotta play that.
Women's MMA. All right. Featherweight. Now, we actually have some good fights. I mean, this card overall, like after those, there's a couple bad ones, but there's some good fights here. Featherweight division, Nate Landwehr taking on Juicy J, baby, who probably had one of my favorite wins of the past year in his last fight.
Yeah.
You, John?
We're skipping Rafael Alves versus Pat Sabatini, whatever those people are.
That is the last fight on the main card.
Oh, that's the fucking prelim main event. My bad.
I don't know who those people are, but that is
his brother's feature. Like a pro golfer. You gotta give him a.
Oh, and that's Roy Sabatini's brother.
I don't fucking know. Like,
oh God!
I got to say,
Roy Sabatini is the most hated PGA player in the history of the tour.
I don't know who that is, but I thought it was Gabriella Sabatini's brother.
Very famous guy. Very famous guy.
Yeah, I like Landwehr here. I never thought Erosa was very good. I know he beat Woodson last time, but he was getting absolutely smoked, and Woodson, just gave away that fight. I think Landwehr is going to bring the fight to Erosa, and I think Erosa is going to melt. I know Landwehr got knocked out by Herbert Burns. That's got to be one of the weirdest results in a fight in a while. I don't think that is.
I was there
here. Elsie, you caused that shit.
I was there. Yeah, that was the last fight I went to, and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, we went and watched Landwehr, didn't we? We saw him in.
That was the one I was in Raleigh.
Oh, I thought he was in one of the Nashville cards we went to. I might have been wrong.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I got Landwehr plus 100 for 2 units.
Wes?
Yeah, I think you got to go with Landwehr here. I do have some just very slight worries that Landwehr is just a madman, and Erosa is like one of those lanky motherfuckers that seems to grab some dumb shit on people when he really shouldn't from time to time. I don't think this is the guy though. Like that, the fight against Elkins, I think was a good, showed you a good showing for Landwehr. Just a guy that's going to be in that fight the whole time and shit. Like his pressure on Erosa here should just be absolutely incredible. And I think he keeps that up for 15 minutes or however long it takes for him to put a beating on old Juicy J here. And the line just seems kind of wild to me. I feel like Landwehr should be more like minus 150 or something like that against Julian Erosa. So I like it too. Going to be one of my first bets on the card. So Landwehr, small bet.
Brad, Juicy J with the rare 3. This is his 3rd stint in the UFC. And of course it came in 2020 when everyone wanted to fight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everyone wanted to fight. They thought they were signing the musician Juicy J to some sort of like entertainment contract during an intermission. But
they're coming to Rupp.
This guy showed up and they had to give him a fight. So they picked some beanpole looking motherfucker out of the crowd. And that guy beat him up for 2.5 rounds. And then, he sucked too. So he got submitted or whatever. I think he got submitted, right?
Yeah.
Landwehr is actually pretty decent. He's going to come forward. He's going to throw a lot of shit. Juicy J has no chin. He's been knocked out by a lot of not good fighters, and now he's fighting a pretty good fighter that can knock him out. And even if he doesn't, Landwehr's just going to come forward and throw and land and win a decision. So this is shocking to me that this is even money. He can land a knee or something up the middle, Erosa, and knock him out. Maybe that's what Herbert Burns did, and Herbert Burns is a terrible striker, so it can happen. It's just to put it at even money that it's going to happen. That's wild to me. So this is biggest bet for me in a while. I got 4.
Woo!
Four tout units on Landwehr.
Shit.
Look at you go.
Kelton literally just booked another cruise.
That's a lot of Kelton units there.
Like,
oh my god, they gave me a coupon? Idiot. MMA Twitter, it's just the gift that keeps us coming.
it's so
It
good.
is.
I like
He blocked me, by the way.
Oh,
Of course he did.
Yeah.
I finally got unfollowed by the sponsorship though. No
Fight
bro
pick?
hugs.
Bro,
Yeah, finally unfollowed me.
I gave Kelton tweet of the year for the cruise line trip, or the cruise line tweet, obviously, and he blocked me.
I'm only blocked by Sleeveless. That's the only one that's actually blocked me. But I don't go after anybody too hard except that motherfucker.
He blocked you?
Yeah, he found. Oh yeah, he went a while back.
He
Me,
blocked
Sean was a bully and all kinds of shit.
Picking on the Twitter nerds.
I can't find him on here. Oh, here. No, I can't find him. What's his name?
That means you're blocked, probably.
Yeah, it means you're probably blocked.
Yeah,
Is it? What's his Twitter name?
We're not giving that shit out on here. What the fuck?
Who are you? Which one are you
those
talking about?
guys are Twitter legends.
There
They
we
know
go.
they know where the handle is.
Oh, here you go. You want to hear something good?
Yep.
Not only does he not block me, he follows me.
Follows you. Well, you're not mean, Lance. You
Oh
don't give
yeah,
him
the okay.
Actually, you have been giving him shit. I guess he's just not listening.
No, I don't give people shit on Twitter. I just
Just on the podcast.
Yeah,
Just on the podcast,
show.
you roast these
I
motherfuckers.
subtly make fun of people on Twitter. Like, hey man, cool tweet, the tape study. That's super cool stuff.
Very hard work.
I
I'm
like
sure you make more than $250 an hour.
I like Nate Landwehr here. I think Juicy J's only chance here is to drag this fight to the ground. He has horrible wrestling. Like, he does not have wrestling. Like, he usually gets his takedowns by tiring guys out and getting them to the ground. But Landwehr has seemed like he's had decent cardio. You know, the Darren Elkins fight was a little bit wild. Back and forth, kind of all over the place. And he was able to keep that fight standing and, put it on him and stuff the takedowns. And I think if he can stuff the takedowns from Elkins late in the fight and with that crazy pace, I don't worry as much about this one. I think this fight just stays standing. I think it's just he batters him. Juicy J not only has a bad chin, he has really bad striking defense, which usually not a great combination. I think Landwehr is very much a fucking madman that bites down his mouthpiece, charges forward, and throws haze, and I think that's what we're going to see here. So we got Munich.
Munich.
Yep. So this is actually a Munich play that we actually like, and we'll be actually having a regular size bet on. So now let's move on to
regular size. This man's got a cruise ship on that.
That's right.
We've got a lot of Kelton units flowing here.
Gonna buy Norwegian cruise lines with these winnings, baby.
Disney Cruise, the big boy here. Next up, bantamweight division. We'll try to go quick so you guys aren't with us all night. But Eddie Wineland versus John Castañeda. Weird fucking fight. You got a washed up guy versus a super terrible fighter. New Sean?
Yeah, I wanted to fade Wineland after that absolutely horrendous showing against O'Malley, but I don't think the sexy Mexi is the guy.
Oh, come on.
He is not good. His best fight in the UFC, or his only fight in the UFC, he just was able to take a beating from an okay fighter. I really want to fade Wineland, but I can't. I'll pick the sexy Mexi, but no bet.
Wes?
Yeah, this is just pretty much an absolute fade for me, and it's nothing big. I'm gonna take the old sexy Mexi here. I'm probably gonna take some KO or inside the distance though. I think that's like plus 330 and plus 500 for each one of those. I think that's the way to go, because if this does go 15 minutes, that means he didn't get Wineland either. And I think Wineland's definitely still the better fighter overall, definitely a better striker and shit. So if he doesn't get Wineland out there, he's probably going to lose a decision. So I think he gets Wineland out there. Wineland is completely done, man. Just countless, multiple broken jaws and shit at this point. Like that dude's not. I think he's done. So yeah, just a small bet for me.
Bradley?
Yeah, this one's tough for me. Initially, I posted earlier in the chat that I wanted to fade the guy that was fighting Wineland. I still kind of do. Like it's very tempting here. He's lost to some guys on the regional scene. I don't think they're the worst, but it's still not good. So I think the saving grace is that Wineland doesn't really like to throw. He's going to look for that counter, and if he lands the big counter, then he might get you. But he's kind of that washed where he doesn't pull the trigger anymore. I think that's the category that he falls into. So I do like Castañeda to win. Can't really bet it at this point. I'm hoping it comes back to like even money or plus money, and I might think about it.
Yeah, I'm not betting this one. Shitty fighter versus washed fighter. Tough one. I lean from a pick, Eddie Wineland. I know he doesn't throw as much, but he's facing a real turd sandwich here. This guy somehow got into the UFC after going 1-2 in like the Mexican fight league. Lost a couple fights to guys who aren't great. And then the UFC is like, well, I know we don't have any room in the roster because people are banging on the door to fight.
Everybody's got fight.
We're going to make an exception, sexy Mexi. Welcome to the UFC. It's funny they do contender series where guys are like actually fighting hard and trying to get contracts and killing themselves over it. And they're like, bro, come on.
Y'all know we run a human trafficking ring here, right?
You're in the UFC.
We're taking all of y'all.
You're in the UFC. Contender series are like, we're going to take all 5 of you.
We need to, we need to interrupt this for a second because in the chat, he brings up a good point. I cannot bet the Scottish chick fighting the terrible Shanna Dobson because her nickname is King and there is only one King Casey.
She thinks she is.
That's dead.
Infringement.
Dead.
I mean, somebody needs to contact the real King and have a cease and desist sent because this is just absolutely bullshit.
There needs to be a rap battle.
We got to go through fights, but speaking of copyright infringement, Nate Diaz, you're taking everything I worked for. What do you mean? Who is Leon Edwards, bro? copyright infringement. Newshawn, not only does your guy suck at fighting, he can't even come up with his own shit anymore. You got to steal mine.
Man, he
Take
knows
everything I'm working for, Connor. I'm coming for you.
It was a shout out to you, Lance. He knew you started the shit. He knew you were.
He's
an
trying to
OG
win you
in the
over.
Who game.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Hate
It's
that
coming.
guy. If Nate Diaz fought
Come
Lee
on, he wants to
Edwards, I'd be
fight
all
you,
up on
Bronx.
Lee
He wants to
Edwards.
give him a shot at the belt.
No. Fuck Nate Diaz. All right.
Love it.
Lightweight, Drakkar Klaus, Luis Peña. Not a terrible fight. Newshawn.
Yeah, I know there's some people that are going to be on Klose. I think maybe even on this podcast. I'm staying clear. I know he's fought the much better guys. He's looked better in those fights.
Didn't get choked out by Kama Worthy.
True. And in a fight that he was completely he was winning that fight.
Well, Worthy.
Yeah, Peña just was hyped up. He's never really panned out. He just hasn't been excelling where I guess he should be. He's just an okay fighter. I've had money on Klose a bunch, but I can't back him here. He just he went to a close fight with Christian
life
Yagos.
and death. Like life and death. Yep.
With Yagos.
Yep.
Good,
With
man.
a fucking parrot. Like
He almost
That's his
lost
best
it
win,
like he
man.
did it with you, Bronx.
Yeah, that's his best win now, right?
that's his best win. So I'm staying clear. I'll pick Klose. He should win a decision, but I'm good on that.
Wes?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same about a lot of that. Peña just he's not as good as I think everybody thought he was. He's gotten some decent fights and put on some okay performances, but the dude can't wrestle. He's going to get taken down if Klose wants to. I think Klose keeps this up and probably outbox him. Like Peña has a slight shot if Klose does do some dumb shit and this winds up on the mat. Peña still as long and can throw up some subs and shit, but can Peña get Klose down? I don't see that happening. Like the dude's a terrible wrestler. I mean, he's gonna have to he's gonna have to pull guard or some dumb shit like that. I think this is 15 minutes of Klose just kind of keeping distance, piecing him up a little bit, moving, maybe even a little clenching up against the cage. I still worry about, like I said, Peña can grab something dumb here. I've seen it. I've seen him do it. Klose, I still don't think is the smartest dude in there. And like Sean said, man, he went fucking like life and death with Christos Giagos just last time out. He won that fight, but man,
I was fully clenched in that.
Yeah, I had quite a bit of money on him in that fight. So I might end up with him in something small, but it's very I don't trust him in this fight a lot, but he should win a decision here.
Bradley?
I get that, being in a competitive fight with Yago isn't great. But Peña has been in a competitive fight with Steven Peterson, like recently.
He
got choked by Kama Worthy. Yeah.
He got choked by Kama Worthy.
Exactly. I'm saying like that's his best win is probably Steven Peterson.
It is.
And he's lost to Kama Worthy.
2020 Matt Wyman's his best win.
Like Peña's never been good. He's one of those guys that people are like, oh man, he's tall, he's lanky, he's gonna use that range.
He's tall.
Okay.
No, he can't use range at fucking shit. Might catch something on the mat with those limbs, but that's about it.
Yeah, and Drakkar Klose has been
Peña to be good.
Because he smells good, first of all.
He's got a cool nickname.
The best smelling, gotta be the best smelling fight.
He's got a cool nickname. That's why people think Peña is good. Great.
No, we're talking about Klose now. He smells good. He's like the anti Matt Lindland, even though he fights boring like Matt Lindland. But I think he wins this fight. I think he's safe to throw in parlays. I could probably throw in. I haven't finalized them, but I could throw him in a parlay with a guy later on.
Yep. Same as Brad here. I actually like Klose a good bit. I think he dictates where this fight goes, for one.
He would be Beneil Dariush. And the other guy lost to Kama Worthy.
Worthy. I think he dictates where this fight goes, which is always important in MMA. I think he's the better wrestler, and I think he's the better striker. I think he can get inside, and I think he can land some punches. And if the going gets tough, he can take the fight to the ground, which I don't think it will. I think he can just keep his distance. Peña is extremely hittable. And then he's one of those guys that's cool being on bottom, and then just gets beat up. And he doesn't have the best sweeps. He doesn't really sub guys very often from his back, but he's cool being there. And I think Klose just anywhere he wants. Klose is good. Yeah, like you said, he had a tough fight with Jagos, but Klose also beat Bobby Green, Venata, some.
Oh, he's got some good wins.
Real
yeah.
fighters.
Yeah,
But his best win is Jagos.
Getting smoked by
all those other guys.
getting smoked by Benny doesn't look.
He's fucked Benny up in that fight.
Yeah,
I know. One of
know.
the craziest finishes.
It doesn't. Yeah, that fight doesn't.
That was when
look-
Darius started his crazy finish streak, where he
Yeah.
closed his eyes and started throwing shit and got like, oh my god, what a striker! Darius is such a good striker. So yeah, I like Klose here. I'm going to be having him in a parlay later in the card. All right, featherweight division: Jared Gordon versus Danny Chavez. Sean.
Once again, I don't have too much here. Gordon does throw a decent amount of pace, but his chin can be cracked. His takedown defense is okay. I think this guy, Chavez's route is to wrestle him, so I guess that chin will get protected a bit. So I'll pick Gordon just because I think he's a little bit better, and like I said, I think he's going to outwork Chavez and keep it on the feet a little bit.
Yep. Wes.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this fight. Gordon probably should win. Would, like Sean said, just pace and just throwing strikes. I could see Chavez getting a decision here, man. I could see him grinding to a decision. I just don't know. I have nothing on this fight. It's a complete pass. I'm going to pick Jared Gordon. He's fought a little better competition.
Brad.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this right now. The one thing I remember from Chavez's UFC debut is that he kicked the shit out of a dude's leg, I'm pretty sure, TJ Brown. And then he lost the third round when that dude could hardly stand on his leg. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. That's not a great sign because at least Jared Gordon is going to fight and keep fighting. He might get knocked out. What was that?
Like,
and has beat it so far.
addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
So far.
Yeah.
The fight's never over.
No, I mean you can't you can't end a fight with him. I mean
That's
a stun
there.
gun doesn't end a fight with this dude. Like he's always in it.
So
Heroin's like the Derek Lewis. Like you think you've got him beat, and then
he just pops up and knocks you out.
He gets that second drain comes through.
I'm such a bad person.
Yeah, we're all pretty awful. Yeah, so I picked Gordon in this one. If it keeps climbing, I'm gonna have to play it, but I don't feel great about it either way.
Let me pause real quick. You guys all just picked Gordon to win the fight.
He's a dog.
He's plus 125. You're all passing.
I mean,
We've done this recently, and
Lance, I'm telling you, the nerds are on Chavez. Wait on it.
Yeah,
don't play it yet. Wait.
I like Gordon here. I'm betting Gordon. I'll be betting Jared Gordon in this fight. I think he's just a better fighter. I think he's fought better competition. I think he can hang on the ground. I don't think Chavez is a great wrestler. And I think Gordon's just an all-around better MMA fighter. And I think he's been improving a little bit. This is a guy that got just absolutely just mass murdered by old Dewey Bronx. It came back. He changed some things. He kept posting those videos about how he was working and getting in shape and all this stuff, and came back and looked pretty good in his last fight. His wrestling versus Chris Fishgold, who's not saying much. His wrestling looked good in that fight. Chavez is a better wrestler, but Chavez isn't some world beater wrestler, and I think Jared Gordon just a little bit better everywhere, and I think he can win this fight. And at plus 125, how odds work is if you guys all think Gordon's going to win and you're getting plus money, you'd probably take him in that fight. So I do like.
We got to just cut out like splice the part out of Lance comparing any kind of an American wrestling against Chris Fishgold's
This
wrestling.
is a great wrestler.
Splice that shit out. Just take it out of the show. Bet Jared Gordon at plus money.
Jared Gordon plus money. I'll take it. If he can beat heroin, he can beat Danny Chavez.
Oh, quote.
All right.
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
Did we
Featherweight
hit the main card yet?
almost. We can go through this real quick. I've never heard of either of these fellers. Pat Sabatini versus Rafael Alves. New Sean.
Completely based on their Sherdog photos, I will take Rafael Alves.
Oh, now I gotta look. See what we got here.
Well, I mean,
My specialty.
based on the typology picture of the Sabatini, Lance is going to be on Sabatini.
Sabatini, yeah.
Oh,
Really?
He looks like a jacked up American wrestler. I mean,
Yep.
Oh. Alves looks like everyone from Brazil. So
Yep.
shredded.
Sabatini looks like he wrestled at Rutgers.
Look at
yeah,
his
Sabatini looks like a Penn State wrestler. That's what he looks like straight up.
this guy definitely has wrestled. Look at that. That is the wrestler's body.
Look, I didn't even look. I swear, fighting out of Pennsylvania. This guy was a fucking Penn State wrestler. I don't even care what it says. Come on.
He had to be. Let's see. You guys talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna rub one
Wes,
out.
what do
real
you
quick.
got? You got anything in this fight?
He represented Ryder.
Oh, there you go.
He was
That sounds like one of those real white schools that
Is that
only
a
sport is
good?
wrestling.
Is that one of those lower level? Is that
was the
that
softball coach at Ryder?
is that one of those smaller
Maybe.
colleges that's actually got a good wrestling team or no?
Nope.
Nope. I know they made like the NCAA tournament in basketball from time to time back in like the 90s or some shit.
Yeah, no, that's not this one.
That's not them, huh?
It's D1 though.
Damn, Ryder with a D1 wrestling program, man.
Yeah.
Not
Good
too
for
bad, I guess. Yeah, I don't have much on this fight, man. I don't what is the line on this fight? Was this a late replacement fight or some shit?
Yeah, it was. I
Alves
think-
185.
Yeah.
Minus 185.
Yeah, I didn't even this guy added late. I didn't even know this fight was on there, so I got nothing right now.
Ryder is a little bit better this year. They're ranked 24th now.
Oh,
There you
shit.
go.
Oh, they're a top 25 wrestling program? Shit, that's
It's not
It-
like basketball.
It all started with Pat Sabatini.
Yep.
There's a lot of teams. Wrestling's weird this year, though. Well, Penn State's back to number 2, but Penn State was like 5th or 6th going into it, and Michigan is one of the best wrestling teams in the country. Virginia Tech is ranked in the top. They're 3 now. It's weird.
Michigan still got that one. What's that dude's name?
Rosa?
What'd you call it? I think we watched a dude from Michigan a couple years ago when I was down there for the fights. That was really
They're-
fucking good.
They're getting
There
better.
you go.
Big Pen Powerhouse in Maryland. ACC, man, for you guys who do watch wrestling, ACC is on the come up in wrestling with NC State, Virginia Tech.
Matt, I will have you know that turtles are great wrestlers.
Really, really good wrestlers. But
Unless you can get them on their back, then they're kind of fun.
Fucked.
Mm. All right.
Brad, you
On
got
this
anything on
fight,
this?
all I have Pat Sabatini submission plus 630.
Bang.
Alves has lost like 6 or 7 times in round 2 or 3, most of them by submission. He is a
Gases.
gassy Brazilian that quits.
Ooh, okay.
Sabatini sub plus 630.
I mean, just by going off of Sabatini's typology pick, I could absolutely see him choking out a gassy fucking Brazilian.
And
straight up.
most of his wins are by submission too.
Rear naked
So
jokes.
What is it?
Yep.
I'm betting it.
He's
I'm gonna
You
have something on
convinced
this. Yep.
Ryder,
right.
number 20.
630, 600.
Lance is shocked by Ryder.
He's still in the Ryder wrestling
So
program.
I watch a lot of
Wrestling.
wrestling, but wrestling is only on the Big Ten Network, the ACC Network, like the Pac-12. It's only on those things. So
ESPN Plus.
they do have it. There's a ton of wrestling on ESPN Plus. It's so bad. So it'll be like, all right, up like it's Gardner Webb.
They got
This is like,
Quint Kesenick doing commentary, man. He was a lacrosse goalie.
so if you guys want to see something funny, watch one of the ESPN Plus wrestling matches. They don't even list the score. They don't list the wrestlers. It's literally just a mat. It's like someone's parents are filming it with a video.
Jesus Christ.
Or there's no like. It's,
Yeah, someone's parents are filming it. That's the only way they can get it on camera.
They're giving you that content for $5.99 a month, bro.
Did we get to the main card yet?
Yeah, I'm picking Sabatini for obvious reasons. Heavyweight division: Andre Arlovski, Tom Asphalt. New shot.
I think this is the guy that finally gets Arlovski back to who he should have, or who he was many times in his career. Maybe I'm doing some Twitter nerd shit and just getting on a hype train, but Aspinall's quick. He's got good striking. He's got decent power. I know Arlovski is somehow still winning in 2020 against guys that he probably shouldn't be beating. I don't think this is his guy. I put Aspinall in a 2-unit parlay with the guy in the main event.
Wes?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Sean. It's dangerous though, man. There's just, I don't know what it is about fucking Arlovski, man. The guy's ancient and still, it's heavyweights, and a dude with Arlovski's skill and all of that fucking knowledge and experience can hang in these fights, man. He lets these young kids fucking
Unless
go.
he gets flatlined.
Yeah, and he hasn't, like, even at the last time out, like, you usually got to get that old man out of there. I think this.
Suppose there's a decision machine against anybody with a heartbeat, though.
Yep, I think
I was so focused on that I didn't even look at Arlovski decision in that fight.
Yep.
I think that this is the guy that probably gets him out of there in this fight as well. Arlovski he can stay in fights when it's big, slow dudes like that throw one punch at a time and shit. I think this dude can put together some combinations and put a little volume on Arlovski in this fight and get him out of there. So, yeah, I got Aspinall in a parlay as well.
Brad?
Yeah, it comes down to, is Aspinall the type of guy that's going to come out there and actually consistently throw strikes, or is he going to get lulled into Arlovski's 2020 bullshit? If he throws strikes, then he's good. He's going to win. He's either going to knock him out, or Arlovski doesn't throw enough for him to win a decision against somebody that's throwing stuff. So that's all you have to do. And he's not going to knock you out at this point in his career. So I like Aspinall here. I'm debating. I think Bet Online had round 1 KO at plus 250.
Yeah,
which
that's
that's looking not too bad. If that doesn't happen, then one of them wins a decision.
So I'm done betting against Andre Arlovski. I think
that's
so.
smart though. It's
I
actually
think so. It keeps getting me. I don't know what it is. I mean, any sort of logic tells you that, I didn't see the KO plus round 1, but I saw round 1 Aspinall at plus 205, and I was like, that's the most likely outcome to me. Yes. Every single one of Aspinall's fight in his career that he's won has been a knockout in the first round. Every single one. I think what is it? What's his record now?
Like 9-2 or something like that.
9-2 with 9 first round knockouts. Arlovski, I don't know what it is. He brings the bore out of people. Like, it's like, oh, you're fighting. It's like he puts like fucking sleeping pills in people's water bottles before they get out there, and they don't throw. And I think it's also his style. Arlovski's he gets tight defensively. He's not throwing a lot. He's circling. He's kind of throwing a jab here or there, and nothing really happens. And I think he just lulls guys to sleep in there, and I think that's what happens. So I'm going to pick Aspinall by getting another first-round knockout, but I think Arlovski's going to win some stupid decision. It's going to happen. Arlovski's going to keep fucking winning, isn't he? He's going to keep defying logic. And, I'll probably jump into about 13 hours of tape study tonight on Arlovski's career. I'm going to watch every fight. I'm going to see what I can learn about Arlovski's 2001.
How many do you go back? Like, if you're doing tape study on Arlovski, how many do you?
I'm going to go back 19 years.
You got to watch it all. But you gotta watch it all.
I got to see the first Pedro Hizo fight when his nose took that first turn around the corner.
No doubt. No doubt.
Sometimes you got to, but let's move on now. The sad part about this card is you got Phil Hawes here. You got Oleinik versus the Daukaus brothers, Rosa. There's some other good fights earlier. And these motherfuckers are putting Ketlin Vieira versus Thiago Santos chick on the goddamn.
You got Andre Arlovski. He's been fighting in the UFC for
That's a better
20 years.
It's gonna be a knockout probably.
And if the youngin gets him out of there, you put over the youngin. What are they
best
doing?
Case scenario putting over Kuda. What is that? Don't get me started. Anyway, let's move on. This fight should be the co-main. Why not?
Put the Hogs over. Put the fucking Hogs over.
It's gonna be a banger, and the muscles on Phil Hawes. Woo! All right, so we have here in the middleweight division, Phil Hawes versus Nasruddin Imavov. I think I was right. You, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, we broke down this fight a month ago.
We did.
Don't think anything really changed much for me.
Watch change.
I still like Phil Hawes. I think
Hogs.
he's the better fighter at this point. It might be a close fight, but I'll take the Hogs. I got him for a unit at -105.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, like Sean said, we broke this down. What's his last name? Imavov. Yeah, I mean, he went to a kind of close to. Well, I wouldn't say it was close, but Jordan Williams
finish a guy with fucking diabetes.
Dude, he went life and death with the diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, he went 3 rounds.
Guys, let's have a little respect. That's the insulin kid that you're talking about. Okay?
There you go. That's the dude's a weight class up out of his weight class because he can't cut weight. You can't get this guy out of there. And he's not that ain't the only problem. He's not great. Jordan Williams isn't great. Look, Phil Hawes got pushed hard and ran out there a little too fast. And man, I think he's at the right gym, and we've seen the improvements. The guys they're putting in front of him, he's absolutely murking, man. I can't see him losing this fight. I said it a month ago. I think this is the coming out party again for Phil Hawes, and I think he's going to smoke this dude. And if he doesn't, and if it's close, like Sean thinks it might be, getting around even money on Phil Hawes. And even if you're just betting pure potential at this point, even money on Phil Hawes against this guy that just went 3 rounds with a fucking insulin kid. Are you fucking shitting me? This is my biggest bet on the card. I love Phil Hawes in this spot. I think he's going to smoke this dude.
Yeah, I don't think that Imavov is really any good. He's got a win over a Canadian guy that was once in the UFC but not really good, and an insulin kid. And other than that, he hasn't fought good fighters. He's lost. It was early in his career, so maybe you can give him a break, and he's still young, so maybe you can give him a break on that stuff. But Phil Hawes is by far the best guy he's ever fought. And Phil Hawes, people want to talk about his losses like they're bad. Losing to Andrew Sanchez on Tough in a 2-round fight. Andrew Sanchez is built for 2-round fights.
Yes, he's a 2-round champ. So come on.
That's right. And then he lost to Marquez. Turns out that guy's pretty good. And he's got pretty good cardio, and he can pull something out of his ass at the last minute if he needs to. And then the other guy he lost to was Lou Taylor. And that is probably one of the most underrated fighters of the last decade. Mm-hmm. So I don't hold any of those things against him. And I think he's way better now than he was when he won any of those fights. So the most likely scenario in my eyes is that he lands something big. He gets him out of there early. But even if he doesn't, he definitely wins the first round. He's just got to win one more. And I don't think this Russian is putting him away. So I like Phil Hawes. I got -110 on this.
So Lance decided not to plug in his laptop. Oh, he's back.
Oh, there we go. Just in time. I stalled for you, Lance. It's your turn to talk about the
Brad
Hogs.
talks so slow about
So my
the Hogs.
computer's, my laptop's, it said laptop battery low, so that's why I walked over here and I plugged my laptop in. Apparently, you have to put the plug into the wall for the laptop charger to work.
Yeah.
Not in Texas, baby.
Fucking nerd. It won't do anything. Yeah.
I'm going for this. Lance abandoned us. I'm abandoning him.
Fair. Simple enough. This was he French? Is a French fella?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, he's French.
That's all.
Yeah.
Tape study.
That's a lot right now. This dude went life and death with the diabetes. I mean, that was a close fight. They were back and forth, and he was basically fighting a lightweight. Nothing there. He's not very good. I don't understand this line. A, because of fighting styles and what I think is going to happen, but also because there's a lot of hype behind, the Hog right now. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. But
even money on the potential of Phil Hawes against this guy seems like something you have to take.
yeah, this was
Absolutely.
He went life and death with a lightweight, basically, and now he's facing the Hog, which is a gigantic man with, here,
double digits.
kind of like.
No, you got to turn it around the other way. It goes
Here,
big to tip.
There you go.
Very good. Very good. That would be my that's
circumcised. That's uncircumcised.
Right? So Hogs here, round one. This is the consensus. There.
Yeah.
Right. Consensus bet of the week. Booyah. Phil Hogs. Hogs.
Hogs.
You keep not pronouncing the G.
I don't.
It's not a silent
understand.
G. It's not a silent G. All right, let's move on now. Heavyweight division: Alexei Oleinik versus one half of the Daukaus brothers. You, Sean?
Yeah, some people are hyped up on the Daukaus. I know the Dudas is laying down, $5,000 on him. So I mean, he must be seeing something that
unit and a half. That's like a unit and a half.
Yeah, that's about that, right?
Yeah.
Daukaus, man, his wins in the UFC are not that impressive. I know Oleinik is 53 years old at this point, and he still hasn't looked horrible in the last couple of fights. So I'm staying away from Daukaus. I'll pick him to win. But Oleinik does weird shit, and it's heavyweights. You never know. I mean, he's got a fucking Ezekiel choke while being mounted.
He's a Daukaus brother. Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I like Daukaus in this fight. I do think he's gonna knock out Oleinik, but like, would we be shocked if something dumb happened here? Like, I wouldn't, but I'd be surprised. I think that one half of the famous Daukaus brothers can keep this on the feet long enough to get Oleinik out of there. Like, all the guys that Oleinik has lost to lately are dudes that just either kept it up and knocked him out, or he couldn't get him out of there and they got back up and ended up knocking him out. So on the feet, he's in just absolute trouble against this dude. And I'm going to bank on that it stays on the feet long enough that the Daukaus brother knocks out Oleinik.
Yeah. Brad?
Yeah, Daukaus is, we're fans of America's greatest 80s Democratic family on the mma-analysis here. But if Oleinik takes him down and subs him in this fight, would you be shocked?
No.
Yeah. And the last time that Daukaus got out of the first round, he got knocked out by Azuna and Yanwu.
What about what is thoughts on fatties here? We have a true 1.5 at plus money.
That is very reasonable, because I could see Oleinik getting it to the ground in the first round, and apparently we've never seen it, but apparently Daukaus is a black belt, so I assume he can defend himself
in politics.
Yeah, the most important martial art, Lance.
People were sad Rush Limbaugh died today. That was a
Those
thing
people
that
are
happened.
dumb. Those people are dumb.
You live in a great country. You
Great.
guys, you really do.
Lost a great American today, didn't we? Yeah.
Fatties that's a real possibility.
True
Man.
1.5 at plus 135. It's almost like, man.
Yeah. Like you got to pay juice on the Arlovski Aspinall one, and that's one that I'm pretty sure is ending in the first round. This one I'm not so sure. I'm kind of like I was kind of looking at the Daukaus round 2, round 3 props. So we'll see about that, but I think Daukaus does win. People are just a little too confident in him for my liking.
Well, I had no dip for a few days. It's ice storm city here. We have like 2 inches thick of ice just around the city with no salt trucks. We've been iced in for like 3-4 days. My dad went out today.
We're
I'm not driving
here
out.
too.
What?
We got ice. Then we got 6 inches of snow. We're getting 4 more inches of snow tonight.
Yeah,
So.
it's been snowing all night now. Like
Yeah.
literally, like all of Nashville is black ice. My dad.
But we don't run those damn wind turbines up here, so our electric is still working.
So my dad went out today. They hadn't been out since we haven't been able to get it at all since Sunday, early Sunday. My dad went out and I ran out of dip, so he picked me up some dip because I haven't had dip in a couple of days. So
you poor bastard.
Barry's the real MVP.
I almost walked.
You gotta have a truck when you live in. I'm a little.
I have an SUV. I just don't want. I don't want to risk. I don't want to do it.
I love it. I love going.
I had the biggest car on the road. I'm still gonna crash.
Sean and I are just looking at each other, laughing about you guys complaining about a little bit of work.
Right, we get legitimate like snow here. Like we got 10 inches on the ground. Like it's ice until it ain't Canada, but we get legit winters here. I love that shit. I can drive in the snow. I love that shit.
Here's the difference when you get snow and ice like this in Nashville.
Yeah, y'all are not built for it. I get it.
We don't even have salt trucks.
Yeah, I get it.
Why not?
Because they don't get weather like that. Yeah, they don't get
free enough.
Apparently it does.
Well, rarely.
Once every couple of years we get. Every 3 years we get something like that. It's just
so it's not worth the investment of like a couple $100,000.
We're
worth the lives.
Like you would think Texas got smart the last time they got an inch of ice and it shut down everything that they would invested in some shit. But
it's bad here. I'm telling you. Hey, I grew up in Rochester. I've seen some snow.
Yeah.
Like this is, the difference up north is you get a ton of snow and snow and snow. All we get down here is just black fucking ice. Like literally this is ice everywhere.
You can't say something like that on the podcast.
Racist. It's fucking racist. Let's go. We got another.
I haven't even told you guys my pronouns.
Oh,
we've got like 16 fights to go still on this card.
Oh man.
Anyway, I'm taking Ezekiel choke here. I think people are just going too hot and heavy on one of the Daukaus brothers, and
we did it again. We created a monster.
Yep. So I will take Ezekiel choke.
How often are we ahead of the curve though? And then the Twitter nerds latch onto the teat, and they absolutely fucking just dudes' careers are ended, like they're done.
It's raw.
Teddy says hi, everyone.
What's up, Teddy?
All right, let's move on now. Featherweight division: Charles Rosa, Boston Strong, Derek Minor. New Sean?
Yeah, I don't think Derek Minor is good.
He's not. He's bad.
He subs a Canadian inside a minute, and then I guess people think he's good or something.
Dude, he subbed a Laramie brother. Come on.
Yeah, but
and then they gave Laramie another submission specialist. He's fighting that lanky dude.
An even better one, Damon Jackson.
Yeah, like the better version of Derek Minor.
But yeah, like I know Rosa got dominated by the Hick, but
not
this
bad.
Is not
loss.
That guy.
Yeah,
Bryce Mitchell is legit on the ground. I know people were clowning on Rosa.
His wrestling
coming back. Where's Bryce?
The thing about Bryce Mitchell was that his wrestling is good too.
Yes.
Where's Bryce Mitchell at? Like
he's on his back.
Is he grieving the loss of Trump and Rush Limbaugh?
Of course. Yeah, I like Rosa here. I think it looked good against Aguilera last time. I don't know how that was a split decision, but that's what it is. I put him in a parlay with somebody in the main event.
Damn, he's. I just can't even do that anymore against that dude. But I feel you. We'll get there. I've been burned. I'm like a scorned lover. I've been burned so many times.
This is the one.
This is it.
Nah,
He's talking about the main event.
Yeah,
he's pining.
Yeah, I like Rosa in this fight too. I haven't bet him with anything. I was kind of trying to look at a prop that I think he could maybe catch Minner with something here, possibly a sub. Can't really find anything that I want to put Rosa with. I like some other smaller chalk, like Klose a little bit more than Rosa and shit. So I'm definitely gonna pick Rosa. Might bet him inside the distance or by sub, something like that, just to have a little money on it. But Rosa's the pick.
Brad.
I think people forget that Rosa is actually pretty good on the ground.
Really good.
Because he hasn't had
He survived Bryce Mitchell, right? Like,
Yeah.
He didn't even really get into bad positions in that fight. That was like
dominated though. That was
he got dominated.
Physically dominated, but
most
Bryce
guys
Mitchell
are
was like
choked.
past him out and he'd push him back to half guard. He'd pass him out and he'd push him back to half guard. And that was just like the whole fucking fight.
Bryce Mitchell chokes a lot of guys out or subs a lot of guys in that fight. Like,
I think Minner has been subbed by how many losses does he have by submission in his career? Like 8? There's a lot of them.
He has 8 out of his 11 losses are by sub.
He's been subbed by 8 worse guys than Charles.
what's Rosa's? What is that by sub?
I don't think it's huge because like it is the most likely outcome in this
Plus
fight.
150, 160.
That's all it is by sub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on what the decision prop is, I might be tempted to play that, but I haven't played any props in this. I love Rosa. He was minus 170, minus 175 all during the week so far. I threw him in a couple opens, and I've got him in a little parlay with Klose.
Hi, Dan. Tom.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
I like Rosa here. I think he's
boy
better.
Dan Tom's becoming famous.
He's a famous guy. He's big time. Him and Aaron, fans of the show and super famous. So I like Rosa here a lot. I think this line is way closer than it should be because people are hyped up on him beating Laramie, and Laramie just shit. He is shit. Minner's terrible. I mean, Charles Rosa is a legit. I think he's a black belt on the ground, but he is legit on the ground. He's very, very good in the ground, and I think people are overlooking his ground game because of that Bryce Mitchell fight. But I think Bryce Mitchell's just great. I think he's good in the ground. I think Rosa is going to dominate him here. This is a guy that was like plus 350 versus Laramie, and now we're having this low of a line versus Charles Rosa, who's better everywhere. So love Rosa here. Have him parlayed with when I do bet Dark Hair Klaus. So let's go to the co-main event, which we'll cover in about 15 seconds. Kilton Vieira, Kunitskaya, Nushan.
Yeah, I don't care about this fight. UFC tried to hype up Vieira she was going to be the one to challenge Nunes, and then she got knocked out in one round by Irene Aldana. And she followed that up with a fairly close decision against Sijara Eubanks, where she had to really clench for that win. She probably wins here, but this fight is going to decision, and we've seen weird things. I might pick Kunitskaya in Tout Master.
Wes?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. She's a little too hyped off a bad loss, like close fight against Eubanks. I'm gonna pick Kunitskaya in Tout Master. That line's just too far in a fight that I think is just too. It's another women's MMA fight that 2 low-level fighters, in my opinion, that are getting hyped up because they're, I guess, the top of their division. Whatever
that makes it so much worse.
Whatever that means in today's MMA. So I'm gonna take the plus 225 in Tout Master, but I want absolutely nothing to do with this fight with my money.
Brad?
Yeah, this is good quality.
Co-main event shit, baby. Yeah.
I get it by the numbers, and with the UFC wanting to treat every division equally. This, I guess, is the co-main event. But man, this is a bad division, and this is a bad co-main event. We kind of saw this fight last week where there's a Brazilian who has a big grappling advantage, who gasses. Does she gas enough that the Russian can box her up a little bit? I don't know, and I don't really have any interest in finding out.
Kunitskaya with the mom quit, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No, she didn't have a baby. That was fake.
Oh, right, yeah.
She posted a fake
Well,
pregnancy
we'll have to go to Fight Ghost to see what the actual...
Yeah, it could have been a trip to this misfortune.
Might not have been fake.
Was there a trip to a certain...
We need to check medical records. I don't know about HIPAA or anything like that, but that's how you tape study. That's how you check on medical records at misfortune clinic.
That's the real tape.
Yeah, I got nothing on this fight. I think Vieira is the more likely winner. Kunitskaya does nothing well. She's not very good. This is so ridiculous. Why are we doing this? Why are we having this fight as a co-main event? This fight should land somewhere in the bottom. I'd rather watch, my boy Chaz Skelly in the co-main event. It's so bad. This is bad. But let's move on to the main event. We do have a fun main event. It's swanging and banging season. We back. We here. It's time. We got Derek, the Black Beast, Lewis taking on Curtis Blaydes, the boring D-bag.
He was ready. He was ready. Sean was ready. Sean is holding up a white piece of paper.
Storage.
For people
storage.
People for the podcast and listeners, Sean holds up the white piece of paper that says, "Is he top 5?"
Mm-hmm.
He got him. He got him.
Curtis Blaydes is top 5.
Woo!
That's not going to save the Black Beast on Saturday.
Did enough cardio to have that kind of definition.
This is going to be domination. I know Derek Lewis has pulled the rabbit out of the hat a bunch of times. He is not going to be able to even land something because Blaydes is going to take him down. Lewis might get up once. He might get up twice. He might get up 3 times. After that, he is going to be too tired, and he is going to die of exhaustion.
Yeah, that's what usually happens in the late rounds with Derek Lewis.
Against real fighters.
He's too tired to get the finish.
Against real fighters that are going to take him down and actually smother him like fucking Blaydes is going to. Blaydes is going to put a hole in Lewis's head. This is going to be all Blaydes. I know Lance is going to try to tell you that swanging and banging has a chance. It is heavyweights. There is a bee's dick chance that he could land something, but I think the way more common. What's that?
That's what they say every fight.
That's fine.
He's got a puncher's chance.
He says, is he top 5? That's all you need to know.
Exactly.
Really top 5.
He is 100.
Yeah,
he's actually number 2.
Really
He's real top 5.
Really?
Is he real? What? Curtis Blaydes? Are you sitting? Nah, come on, Lance. Come on.
Yeah.
I like the stick. It's good. I deserve it.
Bad.
But
he went off his proven theory, and he is going to pay for it. This is going to be all Blaydes. I think he gets a 3rd round stoppage. I'm kind of hoping he gets a sub, but it's probably going to be a TKO. I got Blaydes with Aspinall for 2 units at -128. I got him with Rosa for 1 unit +104. I got him inside the distance at -150 for 2 units, and I put him by sub at +950 at 0.2 units, even though he's never even attempted a sub.
You can't sub the beast. You don't even mind
that. I like everything you said, but you might as well just set that money on fire.
Nothing matters.
Cormier
subbing.
Cormier got that sub. It's still possible. He might tap from exhaustion. You never know.
Best third round fighter of this generation.
He's gonna be on his back.
Too bad he sucks in the 4th and 5th.
Yeah,
not gonna get that far. Blaydes got 3 rounds of cardio. We saw that.
I'm not sure he gets that far either. Look, Sean's absolutely right here, and
you're gonna bet against Derek Lewis again.
Is he top 5? Absolutely. Curtis Blaydes is fucking very good, and this isn't just about Curtis. This is the matchup too. Like Derek Lewis cannot stop a takedown. This guy loves to take guys down and beat the shit out of them. He's not going to lay on top of Derek Lewis and just
doesn't have to worry about his guard.
Exactly.
Like he is
Curtis Blaydes takes guys down. He's going to lay the wood on this dude on the ground, dude. It's not going to be pretty. Look, Derek Lewis is getting kind of old too, man. He's 36 now. He's fucking not in great shape.
That's young for a heavyweight, man. Come on.
Not a guy that eats fucking like DC does now.
Back in that division.
It ain't, but he's not 36. That the guy that took care of himself and shit. Like this dude is like not in great shape. It's like a truck. Yeah, Sean's right. There's that chance. It's fucking Derek Lewis, but this is a different guy. Blaydes is a very smart fighter too. He
Unreal chin too.
He knows what he needs to do here, and he does that in every fight. He fights to his advantages, and man, he's got a massive advantage over Derek Lewis as far as wrestling goes and on the mat. Like Derek Lewis doesn't get up against guys like Oleinik and shit. Like Oleinik laid around on that.
Does.
Well, this isn't Oleinik. This is Blaydes. He's not going to take his one arm and toss Curtis Blaydes off of him. That's never, ever going to happen. But Curtis Blaydes is going to put a beat down on him on the ground, and I think he gets him out there in the second or third round. I like Blaydes a lot here, so I like him inside the distance. I think that's around minus 160 now or something like that. So Blaydes inside the distance, and I'm going to look at what the points handicap is too when it comes out.
Fred, you could say Black Beast is like a slower version of Glover Teixeira.
Come on. Don't even put those guys in the same category.
That is fucking blasphemy.
Yeah, don't even put those guys.
He takes the beat down, and then he eventually comes back.
No. Now you took it too far to besmirch the name of fucking garage weight champ.
Swinging and banging.
You could say that, but that would justify Gina Carano's anti-Semitism. Yeah, this is not a good fight for Derek Lewis at all. He's gonna get taken down very quickly. I think the fact that he's so conservative on the ground is going to drag this fight out. Because he's going to wait until like 30 seconds left in the round, and then he's going to scramble back up to his feet. So it's not going to be a lot of him getting up and Blaydes taking him down, and him getting up, Blaydes taking him down. Blaydes is going to have like 4 or 5 takedowns in this fight. It depends if it goes to decision, which I think there's actually a little bit of a possibility it could. Or if Blaydes if Lewis actually gets up and knocks him out, which I don't think will happen because Blaydes has a great chin. So I like the over 1.5 here. I like Blaydes here. I don't love Blaydes inside the distance. I would probably take a shot at one of the later round props, the 4 or 5 instead of that. But yeah, I think it's domination for however long it lasts, and I think it's going to be, more than 15 minutes. That's for sure. So
I saw it earlier. Did Brian Caraway finally go straight stalker and lose it?
Yeah, he just stole some ATVs from Misha. I get it,
dude. We'll never get over that.
You got to do.
No, you won't.
Oh
man.
Listen,
let's go, Lance.
Don't take anything I'm going to say seriously.
Let's go.
Derek Lewis is in my group of fellas that I'm going to bet. I'm going to bet him no matter what. I'm going to bet Josh Koscheck comes back tomorrow and fights tomorrow Usman. I'm taking Kos. I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Koscheck. Lewis always has a chance. Always has a chance in fights. Every second, if we see the Curtis Blaydes that in his last fight, Derek Lewis has a shot against that guy. A guy who's gassing out, has nothing left in the round 4.
Lewis isn't going to make him gas out like Volkov did.
That's a lot of weight that Blade's going to have to move around. That's a
water bed. That's a water bed he's going to be able to lay on top of and smash on.
You mentioned Lewis scrambling up at some point. Lewis doesn't exactly scramble. It's just like he's like, I'm gonna get up. He's like, I'm gonna get up now.
He pulls up his
And-
shorts first and then just rolls over and
Not
gets up.
not against this.
Lewis-
guy.
I don't think he's gonna do bad.
Black Beast TKO is plus 475. I'm gonna bet that all day. There is a chance, a better than that chance. I think Lewis catches him. He catches guys off guard. He lulls guys into this false sense of security, and then he lands a punch. This guy might have some of the biggest power in the history of the UFC. He lands one punch. People go to sleep. I don't know. I don't think Blaydes is getting him out of there early. I don't. I just don't think he's going to. And I think Derek Lewis has a 5-1 chance to land a shot on Blaydes. Put him out of there. So I'm gonna take a shot here on the Black Beast. He's gonna be swinging and banging. He's gonna get in there. He's gonna get taken down.
Sean's
gonna
right too.
happen.
Blades has a hell of a chin too. It's not.
Unreal chin.
It's not like they.
Blaydes is
Derek
scared to
was-
get hit. He is scared to get punched in the face. We've
Man,
seen it
Derek
time
Lewis
and
isn't
time
even
again.
that big of a hitter. He gets most of his knockouts on the ground. He's going to be on
He-
top of Blades.
He
You
has
see-
murdered human beings with one punch. He has
Yeah, so is every
decapitated.
heavyweight. That's not that impressive. Most
He-
of his his knockouts are
On
on the
top.
ground.
Here's
He's
what's
not
gonna
gonna be
happen.
on
He's
top of
never going to
fucking
be on
Blades.
top of Curtis Blades. Never.
He's gonna drop him and get on top of him like he always does. That's what he's gonna do. So here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna lose about 3.5, 4 rounds. Probably a lot of 10-8s in there. There's gonna be some 10-8s. Like he's gonna be getting pounded, and then he's just gonna I'm gonna stand up. I gotta get to Texas. I gotta turn the power on. I got things to do. So he's gonna stand up. He's gonna knock him out with one punch, and then he's gonna go back to Texas and fix the power. So my boy Jeremy can have electricity.
So you
So
play chess.
he can be swinging and banging. I'm taking a shot. I'm going Black Beast here. I got to stick to tradition. I have bet Derek Lewis in every fight of his career except when he fought Daniel Cormier. And I didn't bet the junior fight too. I love Junior. He's one of my guys. I think Blaydes. I think Blaydes is scared to fight. I think every fight. I think every
Scared to
second on
fight.
this beat is going to be a scary little bitch.
Dude's fought the hog twice. but he's
Yeah,
scared
and what
of Derek
happened?
Lewis.
What happened? What happens when he faces a power puncher? What, Ngannou can wrestle? Francis
Ngannou,
has a
Outta
takedown
here.
defense? He has takedown defense of Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. I'll call that a tie. They both have
Oh
none.
my goodness.
That's a tie.
That's a tie. huh?
And you know what? Versus a guy
You've
with
gone off the deep end, sir.
let's look at the comparison. We got Francis Ngannou.
Let's look
no
at
takedown
this. The
defense.
only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Francis
Is he
Ngannou,
top five?
no takedown defense. One punch power. Blaydes, huge wrestling advantage. Knocked out twice. In comes swinging and
He
banging.
didn't get knocked out twice. It was a fucking cut stoppage, asshole. He didn't even drop him in that first
He
fight.
would have been.
Oh,
knocked- he would have
Blaydes, you're
been
getting to Sean.
You're
Yeah,
getting
hey.
old.
Getting him.
You're getting old.
We're swinging and banging into the new year. It's 2021. It's Derek Lewis season. We going for the gold. Stipe better hopes he doesn't win against Francis. Because I tell you what, Stipe don't want none of this, man. But that'll do it for this week. We appreciate you guys listening. We're 15 seconds over 2 hours, so I apologize for that.
Oh, man.
A lot
A
of
little more
fights
than
to
that.
cover, and we'll see you next week.